Hello and thanks for clicking on Tales of a Blue Hue. Today we're actually doing our pilot episode on this channel about the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and the Alpine Inn, which I own with my business partner Steve Carlson. My name is Carter Francois. But this channel is going to be much more than that. We're going to be going on hidden trails and hidden hikes, visiting old mines and hidden ghost towns. To bring a little bit of fun to this channel. So hit that subscribe button and let's go have some fun in these mountains. There are times in life where you feel invincible, almost heroic for your task at hand. Your place in the world seems cemented in success and prosperity. This was not one of those times. When Hurricane Helene came raging up the mountain, she was on a mission to make sure everyone in these hills knew who was in charge. Helene wasn't just going to make a statement. She was on a warpath, and those who lived would have this moment in time etched in their memories forever. I can't tell you the individual stories from around the region, or even the stats of how many billions of gallons of water she unleashed, but I can tell you how it ruined my life as I knew it. The storm didn't just take my business, it took my home and my way of life. It almost seemed like we had very little warning. We knew a system was going to come through, but we had no idea the force and the power that it was going to come through with. I myself didn't think at 3,200 feet up on a mountaintop that a hurricane could even touch it. It was about 11 p.m. on I guess it was the 26th. At 11 p.m. the power went out. And we have power outages from time to time, but generally not during the summertime. The winds of that nature typically happen during the wintertime. But I was unaware that we were starting to ramp up the winds and peaking about 106 miles an hour. And after I lost power down there at around 11 p.m., I decided, well, I'll make sure all the windows are nice and tightly closed, and I went to bed. And about 3 a.m. that morning, I woke up. You could hear the wind howling, and it was blowing so hard. It was coming from the southeast, I guess, and that's where a couple of my windows are. And one of the windows took such a huge gust, it popped the window and blew out the window, and glass went everywhere. All over me and on the bed and on the floor. And not only did it scare me, but it was pitch black. I couldn't see what I was doing. So I grabbed my blanket and tried to find some pants. And I went into my living room area, which is kind of the middle of the residence, kind of free of main windows and whatnot. And I thought I could hunker down there until daylight happened, because I really couldn't see anything, and it probably wasn't safe to go out there at that point in time, and I couldn't see the debris flying around. Could have gotten hit by branches or debris and gotten severely hurt. So I waited there till sunrise. A little bit of the sun poked up. I guess a little bit of light appeared, so I could go upstairs, and I ran upstairs to see what was going on and see how everybody else was faring, the guests. and to see how my business partner was doing. So I kind of ran up the stairs and towards the main lobby and pounded on the door because the door was locked, the power was out, so the locking mechanisms weren't working. And I was screaming and hollering to have him open the door and let him know what was going on. I was able to wake up Steve and actually get into the building. I thought the safest thing to do was kind of make sure everybody was hunkered together in the main lobby there, and we were just going to ride the storm out from that point on. I went and checked on the guests in the guest lounge as well to make sure they were okay, and they were, you know, sitting on the couch in there, and they were fine. They were scared. I think everybody was. And I went back to the main lobby. We were just sitting down there looking out the window, watching the debris fly by, the trees fall down, and leaves blowing everywhere. And one of the weird noises came from the front door, and we noticed that the front door had unlatched and opened. And, you know, at first you don't really think about much. You just go over there and, well, I need to go shut the door, but you don't think about why did it open? Why did it unlock? About the second time it happened, I think we started looking at each other thinking, well, something's happening, and we're not sure what. But we do know there's heavy winds and heavy rain outside. Something's happened to maybe compromise that door. So we thought on the second or third time it opened, maybe that part of the building was not the safest place to be. So we went into the building right next door, which is the guest lounge, and kind of joined our stowaways, and I kind of hunkered everybody down there. But you could hear outside the leaves were popping and breaking, huge booms, almost like explosions. I went to poke my head outside because there was an abnormal sound, almost like wood, you know, deck, you know, nails or screws popping. So I went outside and I noticed that the deck was starting to become compromised, and there was a huge boom when I went back inside, and I poked my head back out, and the propane tank, the deck, and the mailbox had all been compromised and taken off their footings and down the hill. At that point, you know, we weren't sure what was going to happen with the structure itself or the whole inn. So we thought the safest thing that we could do was kind of get everybody in their cars and maybe against the hillside as far as the cars could go, against the mountain and away from the cliff face. And we kind of put our cars in a row, and we kind of hunkered down there, making phone calls. I remember making phone calls to the 911, the local authorities, dispatch, police, fire department, whoever I could get a hold of. But pretty much the result that I came to was I was kind of on my own. We were on our own, and if we were going to get out of there, it was going to be on our own 2 feet and our own will, because the reaction I got was pretty much you're on your own, and that in itself I thought was scary. You had no power, you had no electricity, no way to keep the food stable, cool. You couldn't heat the rooms, you couldn't cool the rooms. This is probably not a safe place to stick around at. So we're gonna have to hike our way out of here. And that's another set of obstacles that I wasn't aware of at the time either. We weren't aware that there was multiple mudslides around us, numerous down trees. I couldn't count the number of down trees there were. Power lines that were down. We were going up and over trees, through knee-high mud, across power lines that you're not sure are live or not. And we tried to hike out to Little Switzerland up there, and that's approximately 3/4 of a mile, and it took us 3 hours to hike all that way. Um, we had dogs with us, backpacks, anything that we could carry with us. We tried to bring out with us because the cars weren't going anywhere. They were landlocked. You couldn't go in or out. They couldn't go over trees or under trees or through mudslides. So we had to leave the cars and kind of went on a journey. And it was a pretty daunting task. But 3 hours later, we made it, and we found a spigot up there in Little Switzerland that was still on and running. And because we were just covered head to toe in mud, and we started hosing each other off and started thinking what was our best option now that we're here. And we said maybe we'd go to the Switzerland Inn and for a little reprieve or respite from the storm. And once we walked in there, we were able to find shelter there.
It was kind of a dark, drizzly, miserable morning. But we came down. There's still, there were still big rocks in the road and stuff like that. But we were able to go through it without having to track through mud and up and over trees. But we came around the corner to the inn. We saw the one building, the balcony building, and then we saw the lounge building. But something was missing, and came around the corner. There was no office. Closer to the edge, you could see the whole thing. Speak that out.
Well, we trying to get some money together. It's small steps. It's not gonna be something that's gonna happen overnight or even in a year. It took the whole field quite a few years to build this place and to make it what it was and what it's left for us today. So it's going to be a slow process. Money-wise, we're trying to work with a public adjuster and a lawyer as far as trying to get insurance. FEMA doesn't really want to help out. They were saying that they're for businesses, or not for businesses. They were for residential and the public. So we're kind of on our own, even though it was our living quarters and where we live. They still look at it as a business. So we're kind of just on our own right now, trying to scratch ourselves together. We got six of the rooms, the balcony rooms, left. The lodge rooms are gone, and rooms 2 and 3 for the upper, behind the guest lounge, those are gone. So, right now, luckily, before the hurricane, we were going to, we did purchase a food trailer, and we're going to head down to Florida to make some money over the winter and come back and then maybe remodel 2 of the rooms, 7 and 8. But the hurricane happened, so we decided nope, that wasn't what we can do. So we do have the food truck that is bringing in the money. This last season, right after the hurricane, there wasn't very many guests. Very few people traveling up and down the road. I don't know if people realized that we were open, that the roads were open, that you could drive from one area to another. The big problem that we had was the Blue Ridge Parkway was closed from, at that time, Asheville to Little Switzerland. There's a little section between Little Switzerland and the Spruce Pine that was open, and then they eventually opened it up past the Alta Pass. about 11 miles of the Blue Ridge heading north. But as of still today, the Blue Ridge is closed between Mount Mitchell and us. I do see some trucks going up and down the Blue Ridge Parkway trying to do what they can as far as rebuild. But from what I've heard is that we're going to have another summer of no Blue Ridge. So the tourists coming from Asheville to Little Switzerland are going to have to find a different way of getting there. People that want to come from the north, coming through there, they're going to have to find a different way. But we're still in operation. We've still got the 6 rooms open. We've got the taco truck here and the trailer, and we were able to find a gig down in North Cove that allows us to park there and service their workers and make some money there. So that's at least getting us through the winter and hopefully a little bit of the spring on that also. But we're hoping to get a building that would house our lobby, kind of a souvenir shop, just to kind of bring back a little bit of the, a little bit of the inn as far as an office area, a lobby. We've got the taco truck, which we're going to try to trailer. We're going to try to put that over across the other way and still have that up here to service the guests and service the community too if they want to come up here, which we did have a number of the community members this last summer come up and have some meals with us. So and then I don't know, as far as building back the Alpine, the cost of it is so astronomical. It just doesn't seem to be feasible at this time. We got 2 different bids on just the replacement of the office, lobby, dining area, living quarters below, and that was 1.6 million and 2.3 million for the 2 different bids, and just the cost of rebuilding it is just beyond our means. So maybe we'll take and keep the little lobby building and the taco trailer, and then maybe eventually build out a deck out on the out where the guest lounge was, and have something like that here, because it's absolutely gorgeous view. It's a beautiful view. It's the best view that I've seen here on this side of the mountain, and I just hope that people will come and enjoy it and stay with us and make the most of this area.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for tuning in and watching the recap of the Alpine Inn and what happened to it during Hurricane Helene. But this channel, the Tales of the Blue Hue, is not going to be just about the Alpine Inn. We'll have a little bit of that, about what we're doing and the rebuild and whatnot, but this channel is going to be more about the fun things you can do out here in the mountains, either be it go to a ghost town or a hidden trail that you may or may not have heard about. Tune in to Tales of the Blue Hue, hit that subscribe button, and follow us from week to week.